Why are they dressed up? Was that a thing?
Fancy dress. Fancy dress party at Christmas? Betty Bookworm, you do not do fancy dress parties?
I dress up fancy.
You call yourself an Anglophile, and you do not have a fancy dress Christmas party?
No one's invited me to one. Invite me to one.
Oh no, I invite people I like.
She cannot see you. He's about shadows.
Can I be invited to the next fancy dress party?
I'll consider it.
Would a more Americanized version of that be an ugly sweater party?
I suppose, but I don't do common American traditions for Christmas.
I always forget that Jonathan is just so much better than all of us.
Had our first moment of regret from Scrooge, where he was thinking that maybe he was being unreasonably mean to somebody, setting the seeds early.
I was very sad that there was no fan in Muppet Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
I was sad about that. But at the same time, you couldn't put a fan in Christmas Carol. It would be way too sad. If they cut out the song When Love Is Gone for most general performances, then the kids wouldn't handle fan. I think the kids could handle fan.
The important thing about fan is that it tells you a lot of why Scrooge treats his nephew the way he does. It's because he loved his sister so much, and you get the feeling that he blames his nephew, at least in part, on his sister's demise.
Young Albert Finney's kind of hot.
And see, I think the reason why he's so hunched over as Scrooge is to create this
juxtaposition.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he's doing this whole thing about, people who age and then, they start to hunch over as they get older.
But it's almost a caricature, though. It's a little overblown.
Yeah, it's too bad they don't go for the gritty realism of Muppet Christmas Carol. December the 25th. Correct! December the 25th. December the 25th.
If every day was December the 25th, Christmas would lose its meaning.
Well, it's still the wish that every day could be like that, where everyone's happy and celebrating.
Oh, you mean like that song in Muppet Christmas Carol? It is the season of the spirit. The message, if we hear it, is make it last all year.
I think perhaps it's the message from Charles Dickens' Christmas Carol. It's written in the book.
I'm just saying, in Muppet Christmas Carol, that
where
line,
they reference that.
That line was a lot prettier. It is the season of the spirit. The message, if we hear it, is make it last all year. That is way more poetic than, I wish every day was December the 25th.
This is a song at a party. This is the part, one of the parts that I actually think needed to be picked up a little bit. Now, I understand the whole point of it is to, again, elevate the tragedy to, one, express to Scrooge, like, look at what your life used to be and how you screwed it up. And
how you Scrooged it up.
And two, to kind of give the tragedy to the viewer of, well, it's so sad because things could have gone a different way, but it is particularly slow.
What I like about The Ghost of Christmas Present and Muppet Christmas Carol is that he never gets scary or mean-spirited. I feel like that was important. It made Scrooge feel like he had an ally in this really weird night. Every other Christmas present gets a little bit mean-spirited. And I know that he's supposed to. It's in the book. I appreciated the levity. There was just more levity.
There's levity in this. He gets Scrooge drunk in a second.
That's fun. Symphony and infamy do not rhyme. That's an approximate rhyme.
It's much closer than most of the approximate rhymes in Muppet Christmas Carol.
Symphony, infamy.
It's much closer.
It's close. It's approximate.
It has the same number of syllables, which is more than I can say for any two lines.
Does the same number of syllables means that something rhymes?
If you have an approximate rhyme and you have the equal number of syllables, it is much easier to get that rhyme through.
Let's see. Your name is Jonathan Strickland. And my first two names, Shay Elizabeth. By your estimation, those two names rhyme.
I didn't say that was the only element that makes a rhyme. You do know that I am a scholar of medieval and Renaissance literature, right? Do you know what we did before rhyming? It was all scansion. Beowulf wasn't about rhymes.
It was about alliteration, though.
You had alliteration and you had meter.
I like this song. I really do like this Christmas present. This is a very, very good Christmas present.
You're welcome. I'm glad I could give you this Christmas present.
And third degree burns.
No, I feel sure will be good news for them.
That's a great line too.
That was a level of snark that only Jonathan Strickland could perform. Bob Cratchit is such an angel baby, and I love him. He needs to be protected at all costs. He's one of those characters that I love. Oh my god.
Which makes his performance in the Christmas Yet to Come so much harder to watch.
Spoilers!
Here's the cruel part where he makes Tiny Tim dance. Now, Tiny Tim sings a song, and I would totally fast forward this if I could. We need to play this game.
What is it?
The Minister's Cat. It's where
That's a good improv game.
The Minister's Cat, and you have to use an adjective starting with the same letter, and you keep going until someone can't come up with one, and then you move up to the next letter.
The minister's cat is a pedantic cat.
The Minister's Cat is a pathetic cat.
The minister's cat is a pretty cat.
The Minister's Cat is a... Oh! See, that's how the game works.
I won. I am so happy.
That they didn't have the ignorance.
Yes. I hate that part. I hate it. It is my least favorite part of the story. I think tonally it doesn't work.
It is extremely dark. It is, it's also, it's Dickens making a direct plea to his readers. But it is hard because it is a very dark
It works so much better in literature than it does in a film medium. Oh God, no! No! It's coming!
It's the best song in the movie.
You know why I've been regretting this for 365 days? You want to know why, viewers at home? You really want to know why? Because I know I'm going to sing along to it because I actually kind of like this song.
The song is amazing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is the nicest thing that anyone's ever done for me. I know it's quite bizarre, but things the way they are,
I feel as if
a battle's been lost and won for me.
And if I had a flag, I'd hang me flag out. And Scrooge joins in on the singing, not realizing that they're singing about him being dead, and he joins in joyfully. This is so deliciously twisted. Now, the segment we're watching now, normally this immediately cuts to him waking up.
Stupid.
This normally, in most edits, he wakes up after he's fallen into the grave, and he wakes up in his house. But we're watching the extended cut.
So guess where he is right now, viewer?
He's where we are both at right now. He's in hell.
Yeah, in this version, Scrooge wakes up in hell.
Not only does he wake up in hell, he has a reunification with Marley.
So, according to Mr. Jonathan Strickland, it is way more of a shark jump to have two Marleys singing an approximate rhymed song than Albert Finney's Scrooge waking up in hell.
If I can defend myself.
Better than anyone I know.
When I watched this movie as a child, this segment was always cut from the film. This was not part of what would ever be shown, because I was watching at a time where you had to watch these sort of things on network television, complete with commercial breaks.
Hey, Jonathan, what's network television?
Shut up. I
It's
agree that
not-
this segment's not, it doesn't add anything. You don't need it.
It doesn't add, it would work better almost as like a sketch on Mighty Boosh. Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It would work better. I'm glad it exists because I like Alec Guinness. I like the setting. I like Albert Finney. I like it. It doesn't belong in the movie.
Well, you don't need it because Scrooge has already had his change of heart. Scrooge has already realized what he has done and the wrong steps he's taken, and that he wants to make it right. So you don't need to have a section where he ends up going to hell to see what eternity is going to be, because that's not really the important part. The important part is that he's realized the time we have here on Earth, he could still have a positive impact on that.
Very true.
So to me, this also, it takes away a little bit too, because it's like, hey, and by the way, in case you weren't aware, not only are you going to make everyone's lives crappy if you keep on with this,
you're going straight
you're
to
going
hell. But the thing is, it's gratuitous. It's
Yes.
unnecessary.
Absolutely.
Because it's already established that Marley is already kind of in hell. His hell is walking the earth with chains.
Yes.
And that's established that that's what every spirit is. Like they
Yep.
shown it earlier in the movie that it's just spirits walking the earth forever, carrying chains, the chains that they forged in life. So sending him to hell, so there's two hells? That doesn't make any sense. There's the really bad hell,
Yeah.
and then there's the okay hell.
So within the context of the story, just from the fiction that's been set up already, it doesn't make sense. And then also, it's kind of insulting because it's saying...
Dickens wouldn't want this.
No, Dickens wouldn't. Take this to heart, bookworm.
You're the one tying me up and giving me third-degree burns and saying mean things.
It's tough love.
Aren't you... Okay, you're being mean to me. Aren't you supposed to be nice now? Have the change of heart. Be nice to me now.
No, I'm playing the part of the ghosts that have to convince you to change your ways. It's tough love.
Isn't it amazing how self-aware he isn't?
But see, he says, I think I'm going to like children. That's a funny little adorable line.
That is really cute.
I like that line. Just, I think I'm going to like children.
For dinner, with ketchup, cooked with my goose. I busted out of my confines.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you very, very, very much for taking me out of those Christmas lights.
Don't make me regret it. They're still right over there. So it's interesting because we get the God bless us everyone earlier in the film. It doesn't conclude with that, which is the way traditionally.
Well, you know, sometimes tradition is good to break with. I like the whole gonna celebrate Christmas with my family.
No, that's very cute.
Okay,
So
Scrooge.
superior in every way.
It's not superior in every way. Maybe they're just both nice. They both have things that need some work. I think Scrooge would benefit from editing, or to quote my dear friend Jonathan Strickland, this could use a rewrite, or at least a nice edit. Like just a little bit of an edit.
I agree that there are things that could be edited.
Yes.
I think overall, the performances and the songs of Scrooge are superior to the ones in Muppet Christmas Carol.
I respectfully disagree.
I think this might be a generational thing.
Maybe.
A lot of people closer to my age tend to agree with my feelings about Muppet Christmas Carol.
And the millennials like the superior movie. I'm hungry. Let's go get tacos.
Okay.
Let's go get tacos.
Tacos.
I owe you from last year. Woo!